Widowhood is a tough experience that no one wants to go through. Unfortunately, many widows found themselves in cultures that consider widowhood in women as a stigma. Various tribes and cultures in Nigeria have diverse ways of practicing rites pertaining to burial, but traditions are particularly hard on women. Widowhood practices in Nigeria involve dehumanizing rites and rituals that women are mandated to follow. In this video, we will take a look at the 7 weird widowhood practices from the Nigerian tribes. Number 1. Widowhood practices among the Yorubas. Widowhood practices are as old as Yoruba society itself, as they are observed across different Yoruba communities and across different categories of people. A widow is expected to express her sorrow of losing her husband by wearing black clothes, crying, and often falling into the ready hands of others surrounding her to prevent her from injuring herself. She is also expected to go into seclusion for 7 days, during which she is not expected to take a bath or change her clothes. As a sign of severing bonds between her and her late husband, she may be expected to unweave her hair, have a low cut, shave or scrape her hair depending on the type of practice prevalent in such Yoruba community. Similarly, the mourning period varies from one community to another. She is to sit on a bare floor or a mat at best. While in some Yoruba communities, she is expected to eat from broken plates and cooked with broken pots. At the end of 40 days, 3 months, or 4 months as the case may be, the final rites are performed on the widow. Number 2. Widowhood practices among the Igbos. In some parts of Igbo land, when a man dies, the wife will tie a wrapper over her chest without a blouse. She must not talk to anybody and will not have her bath until her husband is buried. After the burial, the daughters of the man's ancestors will come to shave her hair, bathe her in an open compound, only having the privacy of being surrounded by the women. The in-laws will confront her with questions on how and when the deceased husband died, the circumstance that led to his death, what she did to save him from dying, and her extent of contact with the late husband's family before his death. Where the explanations are not satisfactory, the widow must drink the water used in bathing the corpse of her husband to prove her innocence. In fact, there is no end to the humiliating punishment encountered by widows under the cover of native laws and customs. The relative demand for documents relating to the deceased properties, including lands, investments, and bank accounts, and the widows were required to take oaths as proof that the knowledge of relevant land and personal property of the deceased were not concealed. Number 3. Widowhood practices among the riverine tribes. In Rivers State, South Nigeria, practically every community subjects the widow to various rites at the demise of her husband. The general practice, though, is to swathe the widow in black from head to toe, irrespective of the fact that society knows that black is a bad conductor of heat. The widow is expected to be in the black for at least 1 year, and in some communities she is kept indoors from the date of her husband's death till his burial, irrespective of the fact that she may have very young children to take care of or that she may be claustrophobic. Common in Rivers State is the practice of a widow having to prove that she is innocent of her husband's death. To do this, various rites have to be conducted. These include bathing the corpse and giving the water to the widow to drink. The Kalabari people will make the widow swim across the bottom of a boat. In Andoni area of the state, throwing the widow across the deceased's coffin several times, without her legs striking the coffin, proves her innocence. Among the Ikwara, the man's extended family assumes instant control of his belongings when he dies. They give a woman list of what she has to provide before her husband's body could be buried. Number 4. Widowhood practices among the Ibibios. According to their custom, widowhood rites involve sacrificing a fowl and shaving the hair, during which incantations are said. After her husband's death, the widow will not be allowed to go out but will be made to sit in the same location to cry and mourn. She has to wear the same wrapper and blouse for a period of 6 weeks until after the burial. One of the beliefs of the community is that a man and his wife shared everything in common in their lifetime. In order to sever the relationship, her pubic hair is shaved, her fingernails cut and buried near the grave. During this ceremony, the following words are said: "This is your share from the body of your wife, so take and leave her alone, for she has nothing in common with you, as from this day that you are given your share." The woman will be bathed in public by other women as the final separation ritual. These rites are being performed by the elderly widows of the family, and it involved 1 bottle of hot drink, minerals, palm wine, and cooked food. The women camp with the widow for 3 days. After the burial, items such as jars, plates, and cups that belong to the husband will be packed away by his brothers. Number 5. Widowhood practices among the people of Binis. In Binyland, widowhood rites are in 2 stages. First, the widow is confined to a room outside the family house for 7 days immediately after the interment of the deceased husband. She has dressed in black with her hair left unkempt, and she is not allowed to take her bath. She must look mournful and sober and must cry, morning and evening. On the 7th day, a wake-keep ceremony is held, and the widow is forbidden, by custom, to sleep, because the spirit of the dead man will come around and kill her if she is found sleeping. On the same day, she performs the semi-purification rites by taking her bath at a road junction all alone. Her safe return proves her innocence. The second stage of mourning begins at the end of the 7th day. The widow smears herself and her clothing with black charcoal and remains so for 3 months. At the end of the 3rd month, the final purification, which admits her into society, is performed. The practice is almost the same among the Isan people, but for some little differences. A widow in Isan, however, takes her bath in the night at a burial ground or at some obscure or isolated spot, and she shoots an arrow into the bush afterwards, to deter the late husband from coming near her again. Number 6. Widowhood practices among the people of Tivs. The practice here is that the man is buried almost immediately after he dies. The widow is restricted to one place. However, if she is still within childbearing age, she is restricted to one room. She cannot go to the toilet unaccompanied, neither can she go to the farm to get food, even for her children. Among the Hlo people, a widow is confined in mourning for 3 months, during which it would be confirmed if she is pregnant or not. Her only attire is a piece of cloth called bento, which has a ritual object ascribed to it. This cloth is tied around the waist of the deceased man, and the widow now wears it as a symbol of her sexual relationship with her late husband. It is also believed that this bento deters the widow from any act of flirtation or promiscuity before she is culturally freed from widowhood. After 3 months of mourning, she prepares for the outing ceremony. Her hair is shaved during this period, and she exchanges the bento for a white dress, which she also stops wearing after the outing ceremony. Among the Idomas, the widow mourns for at least 1 year wearing sackcloth. She performs the cleansing/outing ceremony with the help of her age grade, peers, at the end of the mourning period. This done, she is free to remarry either within or outside of the family. Number 7. Widowhood practices among the houses. In the northern region of Nigeria, the attribution of death is to God, and the widow traditionally is expected to mourn her late husband, Tabeka, for a specified period of time. The mourning period is 4 lunar months plus 10 days till the day of delivery or weaning of her new baby for a widow not pregnant before the death of her husband and the pregnant widow respectively. The widow after the mandatory mourning period could stay and remarry in the same family or go elsewhere for the same purpose. However, except that most widows are often neglected during and after mourning together with their children, there is no other practice of mourning that is physically injurious or degrading to the widow. In order to survive the harsh financial situation faced thereafter, most widows are known to take to petty trading, begging for alms or other survival strategies to keep body and soul together. In this part of the country, inheritance issue is according to Islamic injunctions. The manner in which the property of the deceased is shared is explicitly stated in the Quran. However, human factors, especially the relationship of the widow to her in-laws, education of the apportioning parties and cultural leanings have brought about injustices in property sharing.